Hi, I'm Dave Bedford, and I'm ADHD. That's hard of hearing, autistic, and ADHD. Now, why do I celebrate neurodiversity? Because by definition, we're diverse, neurodiverse. And when I first received my autism diagnosis, I wanted to start blogging because I wanted to bridge that gap between neurotypical people and neurodivergent people and get them to come together through shared examples, through lived experience, just through awareness and just to get that inclusion on there. When my son got his diagnosis before I got my one, we started going to Camp Mohawk, which is a day centre for families of children who have special needs. And there's acres and acres of woodland, but there's a massive, massive fence surrounding it. So you are physically shut away from society. And it wasn't lost on me that, in order to escape judgment, we had to go somewhere away from society before we should be accepted. And that's not how it should be. We should just be accepted. We should be able to be visible. We should be able to be seen because there's no shame in being different. If it wasn't, if we're all the same, we'd be a football team full of defenders. We would be a rock group full of drummers. And whenever the drum solo comes on, that's when everyone disappears off for a pee anyway. Or if we were choir, we'd all be altos. We'd all sound the same. And nobody wants that. I mean, if I wasn't different when I met Jimmy Page for the first time, I wouldn't have gone, Jimmy fucking Page, and stuck my hand out. Sure he remembers me as much as I remember him as a result of that. When I was driving through Henley with the family in the car, I thought nothing of a honking the horn when I saw Joe Wicks, the body coach, and going, oi, oi, because obviously I knew him. I saw him every morning during lockdown, only I didn't know him. But when my wife went and met him later on that day again, happened to bump into him, he remembered her, and they had this really deep conversation and connection because he'd remembered. When me and my son went down to the Watercress line, we were allowed and invited up into the cab of a steam train, able to pull the whistle to alert the driver who disappeared off to go and get a cup of coffee, but got distracted and forgotten, and we needed to come back. And staying on the subject of trains, because it's, you're allowed to have stereotypical interests, when we're waiting for Flying Scotsman to come through at Virginia Water, if we'd have been conforming to the norm, then the driver wouldn't have noticed that we were quite, excited about trains, and invited my son into the cab and allowed him to open and close the doors and allow all the passengers on and off the train and also onto the platform and off the platform at Virginia Water. Absolutely made his day. We are all different, but together, that's when it becomes stronger because there's no perfect individual, but there are perfect teams, there are perfect communities, and we get that from bridging that neurotypical, neurodivergent, just everyone together. And that's why I celebrate neurodiversity.